In today's Bedrock Edition tutorial, I'll be showing you how to build a simple spawner experience farm in your Minecraft worlds. This spawner farm works on skeletons, zombies, spiders, and cave spiders. It even works on silverfish too if you're crazy. It's also very easy to memorize how to build, that way you can build it multiple times without hassle. This farm is designed to be super user-friendly, so all you need to do is simply stand here and hold yourself a looting sword. All of the mobs will be automatically killed for you, and the experience will be delivered to you as well. All the items will go into this chest right here. You can expand this to be whatever kind of storage system that you like. This farm will never get mobs backed up inside of the spawning room. Sometimes you'll have one or two regular spiders right here, but they always go into the kill chamber, and they never get stuck on the ceiling or anything like that. This farm is also designed to never have the mob cap be occupied. The mobs fall down far enough, that way they are outside the mob cap of the spawner, allowing you to get the best rates possible. We're also using a small trick to get slightly better rates out of our skeleton and blaze farms. So instead of having a slab on top of the spawner, which is preventing a spawning spot, what we do is we put a glass block above the spawner, and any skeletons that would typically spawn on top of there will get pushed off immediately. This gives you ever so slightly better rates and more efficiency out of your farm. However, it can only be applied to skeletons and blazes. If you have a zombie or a spider farm, then you need to put the slab on top of there. Turning off your mob farm is also super easy. All you need is one redstone lamp at the top of the farm. The Trident is also really easy to pick up and swap out in case you have multiple people playing on your server. So as long as the Trident Killer is running, you can walk up to this edge right here and pick up that Trident. And then if you want to swap out the Trident, you simply throw it at that back stair, turn it on, and it is good to go. It is by far the easiest way to swap out that Trident. This farm works really well for all the overworld spawners, such as skeletons, zombies, cave spiders, spiders, and silverfish. But if you want to build a spawner farm in the nether, such as a magma cube spawner or a blaze spawner, then check out one of my recent tutorials on those two farms. My magma cube farm also functions as a frog-light farm as well, so enjoy that. And otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, then consider subscribing to help us reach 500,000. Thank you so much for doing that, and let's hop into the tutorial, shall we? First things first is actually finding yourself a mob spawner. You might also get a double or a triple spawner out of it if you really want a much better farm. Now, all you need to do to disable this mob spawner is put one torch on top of it that will disable all spawners that you find in the overworld. And now we need to clear out some room around it. So if you are in a cave or something, you'll just mine this out. If it's out in the open, like in a mine shaft, then you might need to build up this room around it. Either way, we need a 9 wide by 9 wide diamond around this mob spawner. So basically that is 4 blocks in every direction from your mob spawner like so, and then your walls are on the 5th block. This is the spawning range of mob spawners on Bedrock Edition, so you don't need to make it any larger than this to get maximum efficiency. We need 2 blocks above our mob spawner, and then our ceiling on the 3rd block, and then our floor should be 6 blocks below it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, just like so. The next step is to decide what direction you want your kill chamber to be in. Our kill chamber is going to be on this wall right here. It doesn't matter which wall you choose, it's all the same regardless. So now we're just going to go ahead and mine out these 4 blocks right here, mine out these 6 blocks right here, and then mine out the floor layer down by 1. This is where all of your mobs are going to fall down into your Trident Killer. So now what we need to do is put ourselves 3 signs right here against this wall, turn around, and now we need to install some water sources. The first thing we're going to do is go to this side right here and punch out these 6 blocks in these locations, and then do the same thing on this side right here. And now grab yourself a couple of water buckets. You might want to place in yourself a block just so that you can stand on it without getting pushed around. We're going to place in 1 water source down there, 1 water source up there, 1 water source down there, 1 water source up there, and then finally 1 water source right there. And that is going to push all of the mobs into your kill chamber without any issues, without any dead spots in the water, and without any hassle. So now you can go ahead and break this block if you feel like it, and it's time to work on our kill chamber. So now we're going to dig this out and install our Trident Killer. So we need to dig down every single one of these down by 2 blocks in each one of these locations. And then we're going to mine forwards by 2 blocks in each of these locations, to the left by 2 blocks, and then back underneath our spawner by 2 blocks as well. It sounds complicated, but basically you just want to make this little 4x4 square right here, and this little 2x3 is lined up with your drop chute. So now we're going to drop down here and start installing our pistons. We need to have 1 piston right here, which is going to be facing to the right of the farm basically, and then just keep on spinning around and placing in more pistons. We're going to place in ourselves a upside down stair like so, getting yourself a couple of solid blocks there, a right side stair right there, and then a couple more solid blocks in all of these locations. We now want to place a dropper in each one of the corners of the build, and then have an observer face those droppers. It doesn't matter what orientation the droppers are in, they're never going to have anything in their inventory. They're just there to chain the redstone. Now place a solid block above each one of your pistons, and hopefully that's not too confusing because it's a lot of spinning around in circles to build these things. But this is kind of what it looks like from above, and hopefully that all makes sense. Now, going back up to the right side of the build, we need to pop out these 2 blocks right here, grab ourselves a couple of signs, place them on this block and on that block, and then place in 2 water sources. That way, all of our mobs that get pushed right here fall directly downwards into our Trident Killer. And the final thing to do is to place in yourself a hopper facing downwards right there in the corner of the build next to your upside down stair. That way you can collect the items out of your kill chamber. So get out of your Trident Killer, and then we're going to need to break a hole in the wall over here. That way we can actually get out of the spawner zone, fill up that wall, and now we need to make ourselves a little bit of item collection zone and AFK spot. So basically just clear out as much area around this Trident Killer as you feel like it. This is where you're going to be standing for a very long time to actually use the farm. So first things first is item collection. We need to go ahead and break out these 2 blocks right here, these 2 blocks, these 2 blocks, these 2 blocks, and those 2 blocks as well. Place down a double chest facing sideways like so, and you might need to replace this block right here with an upper slab. That way you can actually open that. So that is going to be enough storage for quite a while. If you're using a skeleton or a zombie spawner, then it's probably going to get filled up with junk armor and tools, but you can expand this storage to be whatever you want. The final thing that you need to do is place down some slabs on the floor right here. That way you're standing at the correct height, and you might want to also replace this solid block with a slab as well. And now you can reach in here into the actual Trident Killer and place a water bucket onto that stair. So now go ahead and grab yourself a trident. If it has enchantments on it, that's great. Ideally, it would have impaling 5 to kill all of your mobs quicker, but it doesn't really matter what kind of trident it is. It can have like 2 durability, it is fine. Just go ahead and throw it at the lower part of that stair, and you are good to go. Grab yourself a lever, and we're going to place it on this dropper right here. Flick that down, let it activate once, and then if you unflick that, that is going to turn on your Trident Killer, and your mob farm is basically ready to go. Just a couple of notes right here. If you're using a Silverfish Farm, then this stair should be a trapdoor that is facing downwards like that. That way you can still collect your Trident from the inside, but no Silverfish can escape. If you're building this as a spider farm for cave spiders or regular spiders, then replace this dropper right here with a repeater on 2 ticks. That way it's slow enough for these spiders to drop down and actually get killed by the tridents. And finally, basically no matter what farm you're using, you should have an extra layer of blocks surrounding the entire Trident Killer. If you build this into the terrain as I showed, then you are basically completely fine. But if you cleared out the entire area, then make sure there's like an extra envelope of blocks going around the whole thing. That way no mobs can glitch out from the pistons. Mobs are super glitchy on Bedrock Edition, especially if you got like cave spiders, and you do not want those things flying out of your walls. And for the final part of the farm, we need to activate our mob spawner. Be very careful about this because you can die. Basically, as soon as you break this torch, you're going to have mobs spawning. So make sure you have an exit plan and, you know, basically just like stand on the very edge of this room. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to break that and either place in a glass block, a block above the spawner if you have skeletons, or place a slab directly above the spawner if you're using anything else. If you want to wire up an off switch for the spawner itself, then all you need is a lever on a solid block. This could be a redstone lamp as well. And basically what you do is you just have a piece of redstone zigzagging up a zigzag of glass blocks, going all the way up to the roof, and then you lead that into a solid block that is directly above a redstone lamp, and that redstone lamp is just right above your spawner. So whenever this light is on, your spawner will not be able to spawn anything. And as you can see, after just a couple minutes of standing in the area, we now have a large collection of mobs. If you want to, you can smack them with your sword right here or whatever you want, but what you can do is turn on your Trident Killer, hold your looting 3 sword, and all of these guys are going to get obliterated. As you can see, all of the experience is coming directly to us, and all of the items are being collected by our hopper as well. You can essentially go AFK here for as long as you want, get all the experience in the world, and tons of items from all of your mobs too. If you enjoyed today's tutorial, then consider dropping a like, as it helps out the video on the channel a ton. If you're new here, then maybe subscribe to help us reach 500,000, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you down in the comments and in the next one. And then there was silence.